joining Gap Mastermind. Welcome to our call. Thank you for being here today. Good morning. Let's get this morning started right. Welcome to our Gap Mastermind call where we talk about growth, action, and productivity. And this isn't just another meeting. We are a movement. This is a space where visionaries like you can come and get clear, get aligned, get fired up, and to level up in every area of your life and your business. So whether you're here to build a brand, grow your team, sharpen your leadership, this is your time to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be destined to be. So let's grow, let's get aligned, let's activate your power together. And so I'm going to ask Gino to join me here. We can get a spotlight on him before we start with today's amazing call. And we've got a great class, Instagram funnels for realtors. But I do want to make two quick little announcements because we're planning two amazing events. And I wanted to start with Build at Sea. So Gino, welcome. How are you this Monday morning?
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from in the world. Guys, this is an amazing Gap Mastermind. I love Mondays because we get together with our Global Alliance family, but we also get to invite outside agents that are not even part of our organizations, part of our groups, part of our brokerage. We can just, like Rebecca said, this is a safe space, and I'm super pumped up for every Monday. But I'm excited, like Rebecca mentioned, we have Build at Sea. .com. You can register for this event. It's going to be an amazing networking event. If you're looking to grow your business, be surrounded with top producers, leaders, influencers, people that are doing this at a high level. You want to, rub elbows with these individuals. This is going to be the real estate conference of the year. Build at Sea. It's going to be, we're going to be able to have fun, explore the Bahamas, and at the same time, learn and grow our business. I'm super pumped up and excited for this. So what about you, Rebecca?
I'm excited as well. I mean, last year was the first one that we did at sea. It was amazing. Now, the Build Conference is not new. This is Brent Gove's staple event that he has done every year in Dallas, Texas. And last year was the first year that we got to do it regionally. We got to do it on a cruise, and it was amazing. It was such a great time to share with other agents in the area, but also to bring your families. And so I think that was the beauty of this event because we don't always get to bring our families on a work conference, but this is one of those conferences where you get a little bit of everything, right? So the conference will be early in the mornings, just a couple of hours, and then you have the rest of the day to have fun with your family, to network with other agents. And so it really was such a beautiful way that I think, like, if thinking about bringing your families, that they get to see mom or dad working in the industry, get to see who their partners are, and just kind of show them, let them see a taste of your world, and do it in such a fun way, right? So it was amazing last year. We came all fired back and pumped, and with new ideas that we can implement into our business. And I think that's one of the greater takeaways. We had so much on AI, and I know that there's been a lot of talk on AI, but it is evolving and ever evolving, and we're just scratching the surface of what we can do with AI. And so, to be honest, that is the future. Now, I'm not saying that's what this conference is going to be about. It may be, just a taste of it here and there, but we're going to have amazing speakers. Brent Gove already said he was there last year, and he said, I'm not missing this one. And he can't make it to all the events. So that's a high compliment that Brent Gove, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to join us again on this event. And so you want to be in this room right now. You can get the early bird ticket. And also, thinking about booking cruises, you get the best pricing when you come in early. So you want to register now. When you click that link for buildatsea.com, you're going to get a registration. It's not going to make you pay anything right away. It's going to ask you a few key questions. And then Anna German, who is our event planner, will then get back to you. She'll send you a text message or an email or call you if needed, and to get you signed up and registered. I love it. We see that someone already is registered. I'm registered. Gino, I know you're registered. So
Oh, I'm
I'm
ready. I'm
super
locked and loaded.
excited and pumped.
Tiffany, I know Tiffany took action right away. So if you know, this is one of those events wherever you are at in your business, there's going to be something of value for you for just being in that same room. If you're looking to grow a team, we have our very own Veronica Figueroa, the queen of teams, is going to be speaking at this event. If you're looking to get better with AI, social media, whatever it is that you want to build, the future is yours, guys. This is going to be an amazing event. Like I said, buildatc.com, register, get your tickets. Our cruise coordinator, Anna, is going to reach out right away, making sure that you know you're secured and you have everything ready for this cruise. I'm super excited for this. Miranda, she said she's registered already as well. So buildatc.com, everyone.
Yes, I love it. Early bird always gets the worm. And I got one more event. This one's going to be for our Spanish speaking agents, or if you work with the Spanish speakers, agents specifically. This is an agent conference. Campaña de Reactivación is going to be April 9th. What's that, Thursday, Wednesday? I can't remember what day of the week that is. Oh my gosh,
I believe
Wednesday.
that's a Wednesday. I think it's a Wednesday.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to share the registration link here. We're going to be talking about, I guess it won't let me share the link right away. Let me see how I can do that. There it is. Okay. That one is a free event, and we are teaming up.
I think we lost.
Sponsorship.
I think we lost you.
Okay, am I unstable? Sorry.
There we go. There we go. You're back. I think she's back. She's in and out, guys. But this, I think what she's trying to get at is this event is going to be a game changer. See, if you are someone que habla español, you're from a Spanish speaking agents, this is an event you do not want to miss out. Es la campaña de reactivación. It's going to be hosted in Orlando. So for all my Florida agents, Orlando, Florida, this is going to be an amazing event. Global Alliance is actually going to be partnering up and joining forces with C5, which is an amazing training platform. And I see Rebecca's back on as well, so she can speak more about this as well. But C5 and Global Alliance getting together to bring a massive event to for all my Spanish speaking agents as well.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity to just learn about how we can combine these two powerful groups together, and how you and not just this group, with any group, that now we can start joining forces with other groups within EXP, and this is an opportunity to continue growing. So now this event specifically is going to be in Spanish for all our Spanish speakers. So if you are in the Orlando area and or nearby and want to come in, free event Wednesday, you do have to register. So I've provided the link, and we look forward to seeing you there. And Gino, I'm just going to pass it off to you so that you can introduce our speaker for today.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm super excited for all these events. This is that year of growth. This is that year of, you know, evolving, right? Evolution, right? Within your business. And I'm super excited because today I get the honor of presenting and welcoming our very, very special guest, Caitlin Webb, which is an amazing, amazing individual. I got the opportunity to kind of go on her social medias and see what she's doing. Eli is one of our partners that has talked amazing things about this individual lady right here, which is amazing. So, but lead generation, right? How to utilize Instagram funnels for realtors. We have a little bit about her bio. She's a marketing consultant and coach. She's a former agency owner who helped over 200 plus agents attract clients through social media. So if you're looking for, you know, if you're one of those individuals that are looking to grow utilizing social media, this is someone who has proven that it works, right? She's also the founder of Web Marketing and Click to Closings, where she helps realtors grow with ads, content, funnels, how to actually attract business, right? She's a sales and event professional. She has a background in sales and also event planning, which is huge, right? And she's also a mentorship driven individual. She supports Christian entrepreneurs in scaling, coaching, and marketing businesses. So, guys, let's blow up the chat. Let's welcome our very own Caitlin. How's it going?
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Gap Team. Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfect.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me here. I'm just so excited to really dive into this and to give you guys as much value as possible. This is probably like the most energized and organized mastermind I've been a part of. So well done to the team. I know there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes. So this is so cool to do this on a Monday, and props to you guys for taking time away from your business to work on your business. Like a lot of people don't do that. So just by doing that, you're going to get better every single time. And so I want to make the most use of your time because we all know time is the most valuable asset we have. And so, as I mentioned, I'm going to kind of go through just the whole Instagram funnel, a little bit of my story and my journey as well, and really give you guys the exact blueprint that, I help agents use and agents use all over, to really dominate through Instagram, through social media. And I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully I can do that. Should be able to. And we'll kind of go from there if that sounds good. You guys see my screen okay? Give me a little thumbs up if you can. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, Instagram funner for real estate agents. So, a little bit about my journey and story. So I quit my corporate job in 2020, as a lot of people did. I didn't get fired like a lot of people, but I did quit and started my own lead gen agency. I'm sure a lot of you guys have worked maybe with lead gen agencies. That was just like a huge thing during that time. And it was great. I mean, I worked with over 200 realtors, got a lot of experience. And then I ended up quitting that business back in 2024. And there was a lot of reasons for that. But I really felt internally, I don't know if you guys have ever had this in business where you just like feel like you need to make a shift, or you're not fully aligned with what your giftings are and what you're passionate about. And you just kind of need to take some time to like realign yourself and really figure out what you're supposed to do. And so that's what I did in 2024, and was just really searching for the next step. Like I was doing mostly lead generation for agents, like I said, and it was great. But I knew like I really enjoyed some aspects of marketing that I wasn't doing, and just relational aspects and things like that. And so I basically rebuilt everything, took what I learned, the best of what I learned from working with that many agents, and then just created something completely new and a model that really fit me and also fit the needs of realtors and real estate agents. Because I'm sure you guys, if you've worked with agencies, okay, you generate leads and they don't close, and you're, maybe out of money, and it's like just stuff like that, or it's not being utilized to the proper, to get the proper ROI. And so, anyways, I took the best of what I learned throughout the stuff that was extra and just kind of sitting there, and really aligned with what I feel like was my purpose and my calling in this space. And so my perspective really changed. And as soon as my perspective changed and I started aligning with myself and also with the people I was wanting to serve, and the results started to follow. And so it's just as a encouragement too for you guys in your business, like follow your gut, follow your instincts, and really go all in on the things that make you fired up and are passionate about, right? But enough about me. We're gonna kind of get into just like the process here. So something that I kind of like hate about like marketing stuff and like people, I guess we sometimes do this, is we kind of like how are like scatterbrained. It's like, okay, you got to do, and people just try to like preach this one thing where it's like, okay, it's only Instagram, only door knocking, cold calling, mailers, YouTube reels, TikTok, expired, Fizbos, like, and all these things in themselves can work and do work. And so kind of what I realized is like, okay, I was like all about lead generation, but then I started to switch and kind of realize through my own experiences is that marketing is, and business in general is more, it requires more of a holistic approach, and all these things that you're doing feed the next thing. And I'll go into more detail specifically about what I mean by that, but just as a holistic view, I really believe it's not really just about Instagram. It's about all the other things that you do behind your social media, including nurturing your list, putting out content, um, following up with people that really make it all really work together. There's this like thing we call like it's like the magic of marketing, or sometimes you just things are working and you don't really know why, but that's part of the ecosystem. If you do all these things that kind of feed into each other and make it an ecosystem, then it'll be predictable. And I'm also a really firm believer that you really shouldn't have to rely on your team or marketing agency or at Zillow, Realtor.com for your business. The greatest asset that you have as a business owner is being able to generate your own clients at will, not dependent on third party solutions, right? Because you turn that off, you stop paying those third party people, your business changes completely and you're back at the start. And so this is why knowledge and is so key on this stuff, because no one can really take that away from you. You can build this for yourself internally. So I'm gonna move on because I get really fired up about that. But I'm gonna just say, like, I mean, everyone is biased in a certain degree, and I'm definitely biased towards this process because this is what's built my business. Like, I used to think like I ran like a bunch of ads, and I still, run campaigns and things like that, but for a different purpose, which I'll go into next. But I just realized like the way I was generating the clients that were actually choosing me, they were choosing me from my ads, but through my content because it resonated with them. And so, I'm not against all the other things as far as, really capitalizing on groups or cold calling or door knocking. I'm not against all that, but I mean, I am biased towards this because this is what's worked for me and worked for my clients. And so I'm gonna take this step by step. There's really three main steps here. And I'm gonna take this step by step, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a higher, a more holistic view, and then I'm gonna get into the weeds as well a little bit, just so you guys can have some practical implementation. I want you guys to leave from this call and be able to literally implement right after. Like that's the goal. So if you're here, if you're taking notes, shoot me like a little chat, little emoji or something. And if also too, if you guys have any questions as I'm going, like jot them down and maybe we'll have a little bit of time of Q&A at the end. If not, I'll definitely get that answer back to you. So, sweet. Awesome. So first thing is going to be traffic. So this is kind of like a marketing term, but basically what it means is you need to get eyeballs on what you offer, what you do to be able to even convert that traffic. So a lot of people, if you're just relying on referrals or Sphere, that's great. But a lot of times you'll kind of like hit like a cap with what you can do with that. And that's where people start to look at a some way to get in front of new people, new faces, and be able to convert that. So the first step is traffic. We got to get eyeballs on your social media. We got to get eyeballs that are the right people, and get them to convert from there. So to dive into that a little bit more, this is kind of like my process of how I do that. So I'm not a huge website person personally. Like I'm not against websites, but for me, like I'll go to a social media and really decide if I want to work with someone before I will a website. And maybe that's partially my age, I don't know. But that's just the way it is a lot of times now, because if you think about it, someone can kind of fake a website, but social media, if you've seen, they've been posting consistently, they've been giving value, see testimonials on their social media, it's a lot more credibility. So first thing you got to do is optimize your profiles across all channels, but especially these three, especially YouTube, and Instagram. And how you kind of I'll get into how you optimize those a little bit more, especially with Instagram, since that's what we're here for. But it goes into your bio, your call to actions, your lead magnets, your profile picture, like all those things, which I'll definitely break down a little bit more, your story highlights, your pin posts, all those things. If you think about it, it's kind of like that's like your landing page on your social media. And so that's really important with that. And then the next thing with the traffic is, in my opinion, the best way to generate consistent traffic is not really through organic. Organic can work, but you're relying on algorithms. You're relying on things that you can't really control. And so that's why I really recommend using ads to generate consistent traffic, and you don't have to pray and cross your fingers that your piece of content goes viral, right? And so That's a huge win with that. And so the first thing we do is and it's called an IG giveaway, like a local IG giveaway ad. So giveaways, what they do is they target people in your local market, and they generate followers that you can retarget, which we'll talk about later. But usually our giveaway ads that we script and we run for people generate anywhere from 600 local targeted followers that are people that are in your local market that are going to buy or sell at some point. And if they follow you, you automatically have people to retarget and to nurture into ideal clients. I'm a big fan of attracting versus chasing. Sometimes you do have to chase when you're, you got to kind of do the outreach, all those things, and all that's great. But when you do your brand right, when you do these things right, you start to attract ideal clients, and you don't have to take people that aren't a fit. You can actually be choosy. You're not going to have to, work out like pricing discounts and things like that because people don't commoditize you. But let me stay on track here. But like IG giveaway ads, so that'll keep you top of mind, get you 600 followers plus that you can um retarget. And it gives you an amazing audience of local targeted people. So that's the first step that we do to get the ball rolling. And then we run retargeting ads, which that is a more direct call to action ad, which I'll go through our ad scripts and give you guys a few ad scripts as well. That we use. It's kind of like, as you can kind of see here, like it's kind of talking style with captions and things like that, that we use for that. So hyper targeted call to action, that's more of a direct call to action for them to work with you. But the difference is they're already following you, they're already engaging with your content. And so they're already building that trust with you on social media before you've ever met with them in person. And then we also do direct lead generation ads as well. So we can constantly get new people to, raise their hands now because, you're going to get some people that are different timelines, 1 to 6 months to 12 months, but lead generation gets new conversations going consistently. And again, that's a little bit more of a direct approach and gives you consistent lead flow. And now customers that are, that's the top of their mind now that they're wanting to buy or sell within the next, 1 week to 16 weeks plus, right? So that's a little bit more consistent with that. But again, if you go back to my analogy of the ecosystem, it's not one or the other. We want to use a combination of these approaches to make the best strategy work, right? So all ads have the same framework. Really simple. Keep this really simple, guys. It's hook, offer, call to action. Every ad ever in existence has at least has these three components in different variations, right? So hook, offer, call to action. Keep this in mind every time that you're wanting to promote something, whether it's an open house, whether it's a client event. When you're running traffic to that and wanting to get people to respond, it's always going to be hook. Hey, call out that person that you're trying to hook. Offer, I have an event this Saturday. This is going to be what you're going to receive. And then a call to action. To learn more info, click the link below. To learn more, message me. To learn more, follow me. That call to action is going to be different depending on the strategy of the ad, right? Okay, so those three layers are going to be the main structure. This is one of our top video ad scripts that one of our clients used to get, like, literally about 2 weeks ago, a $900,000 listing with running this within about, I think it was like 2 weeks. Okay. So if this seems simple, it's because it is, and it's not the actual ad itself. It's not the ad's job to convert them or to make them already that they want to hire you. It's to get them to raise their hand, and it's the content and the nurturing behind these campaigns that are making them convert. Okay. So if you guys want to take a screenshot, it's a little bit of a long thing to read out loud, but this is basically just like, hey, if you're wanting to sell, there's been a lot of changes locally. I've got this tool that you can use to figure out the value of your home. And adds a little bit of credibility. The client in Austin, he's been in the area for like 20 plus years. He's got a lot of credibility there. So we added in a little bit of a credibility statement, and then a call to action, right? So that's the first thing. And this is another one too. If you're, this is more of a softer call to action, and this is based on like generating followers. So if you're looking to buy, sell, invest in a city, this is how you can stay up to date. And then all you're asking them to do is just follow you. And then each follow, you're going to DM them and start conversations with them. That's where the conversations and the conversions really start to happen, right? Um, so that's the first part, is generating the traffic. So as far as budget, as campaigns, it can really depend on your area, how saturated it is, and things like that. But I say a healthy budget, if you want to start even like 20 15 to 20 to $30 a day as a starting point. 30 is probably a little bit high to start, but even if you just start with like 15, 20 a day, run it for 5 days and see how it performs, and then reevaluate and go from there. But tracking everything is going to be huge. But you definitely want to don't I think a lot of people, they just like run ads for like a couple days and like, oh, it didn't like produce a client. It's gonna be a little bit longer than a process with that, but running it for a week or two, see how many conversations and people you're having conversations with, and then make adjustments from there. But the next part is gonna be content that converts. So a lot of people, I mean, like you said, we're talking about content. Content's a huge thing. Instagram Reels, TikToks, all these things. Content is a big deal, but just because you're doing content doesn't mean you're doing content that converts, okay? Because that requires a little bit more strategy than just putting a bunch of content out there, throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping it sticks, right? And so we want to focus on content that converts. And you guys have probably heard this phrase of like content is king, go all in on content, but like I want you guys to understand like why this is so important. Big example that I like to use for this is, for example, Elon Musk and Tesla. And so there's so many other electric cars out on the market besides Tesla. But immediately when you think extra car or electric cars, you think of Tesla and Elon Musk. Why is that? Is it because the product is that different? Not really. It's because of the personal brand that Elon has built behind himself that allowed him to dominate his market. So bringing that to a local perspective, a lot of agents are like, okay, there's so many agents in my market. It's so competitive, which may be true, but you are a specific person. Nobody else has your story. Nobody else has your same personality. And so if you're putting that out there on a consistent basis in the right way, if you're optimizing it, you're going to attract clients that like you specifically and don't want to work with anyone else because you're doing this right. Okay. And so all that to say, so it's like that's your brand, your face, your personality, your story, your approach to how you do real estate, your specific people that you love working with. All those things are part of the most important selling part of your business. When you start I mentioned the word getting commoditized before. I don't explain what that means. Commoditized basically means that people associate you and they think you're basically the same as every other realtor on the block. When they've done that, then that's when people start going, okay, I have like so many interviews with different agents, and they're viewing you as a commodity, basically putting you on the same level as other people in the industry, which is fine. But however, that's where you start getting into, okay, now you're competing on price, and now you're competing on what value you can deliver versus your actual brand, and building that trust and that connection, because we all know people make decisions based on the like, know, and trust factor that they've built with you. So that's a huge key here. Want to point out one more thing here, why content is king, is the 7-11-4 rule. This was created by Google, and they did some research and studies, shows nowadays it takes about 7 hours of content from a brand or from a person for them to decide and trust that brand or person that they want to work with them across 11 touch points and 4 different locations. So this question that this poses is, do you have 7 hours of worth of content for people to consume? Because if not, people are going to be choosing your competitors over you just because they don't have the content to consume to be able to build that trust with you before they even meet with you. Okay. So this is why content is king. So content system, right? Like, cause we can talk about content all day and it's just like, okay, it's overwhelming. Like, I don't know what to post, all those things. And so this system has really worked for me. And I'll say, like I said, with me and my growing my business and my process, like I ran ads to get leads and I just expected them to just like hop on a call with me and want to work with me. But the ones that actually chose me, I realized they came in through the traffic source, but they like watched my YouTube videos. They like watched, they searched me on Instagram, watched my testimonials, and they were nurturing themselves for about a month. And then sometimes it's not really about the time, I would say. It's more about how much content they consume and how ready they are. But anywhere from like 2 weeks to like a month, or sometimes 6 months, 12 months, they reach out to me and like, hey, I'm ready. I haven't even spoken with them, but they built that automatic trust with me. And so this is why content is super huge. My content system, I keep it really simple at first, and then you can always expand as you start to grow. But the first thing I do, and this is the easiest way I found, is think of content as like your ecosystem in your brain. Like your thoughts, your best content is going to come from your unique thoughts, your unique ideas, your unique story, your situation, and your brain. It's not going to come from Chat GPT. I love AI and all those things. I try to use Chat GPT as a tool versus trying to replace my brain because it doesn't really have my thoughts or anything like that. Okay. And so the way I do this is I write 2 emails a week to my list. Nurturing your list is literally so underrated, and nurturing them through your content as well, through your list, which I'll go through later. But I write 2 educated emails a week and I send that 2 times a week. Then from there, what I've done is I already have written out my scripts for my short form and long form YouTube videos. Short form being Instagram reels, long form and carousels, and then long form being YouTube. I've already have my thoughts already fleshed out. My email is really where I'm going to be like fleshing out my thoughts, my ideas, all those things. And so then from there, once I write my my Instagram, I'm sorry, email, then I'm gonna create my YouTube one video a week. This is not about this is just for real estate as well. This is not about going viral. It's about speaking to the people that you're wanting to speak to and having those people reach out to you through your content. So for at least the first 2 months, I really wouldn't even look at your analytics. I would just look at, am I showing up consistently? And am I getting 1% better every single time? And that's how you know you'll be successful. One YouTube video a week, and then 3 to 5 reels, and you'll have some that are educational, which will come from your emails that you've already typed out. You've already thought that out. And then the other part will be documenting. So documenting your day to day, through your stories, through reels, or just through your process. You'll be documenting the rest. And then that goes into Instagram stories. And then from Instagram stories, any follows that you get, any likes that you get on your content, any shares, any comments, anything. If anyone does anything with your content, you're going to immediately DM them and start a conversation. If they're not looking to buy, sell, or invest, they probably know someone that is. And so you're going to organically start that conversation like, hey, thanks so much for commenting, liking, sharing my post. What stuck out to you? And just let them start a conversation with you. Oh, that's awesome. Like, are you looking to like do anything with real estate this year? Keep it chill. Like, it doesn't need to be this high pressure thing. It's just a conversation. Yeah, actually, I'm not, I know someone else that is. Oh, that's awesome. Even if it's not in your area, do a referral thing, like, and so it's just there's so many things that we just let slip through the cracks, especially with content. It's not about the views all the time. It's all about people that are just interacting at all with your content at all, starting the conversation and just saying, hey, thanks so much, and then asking a probing question to get them to open up and share with you, and then start building that connection. And then sometimes something will happen right there, and sometimes 2 months, 6 months later, they're like, hey, that person, reached out to me. I actually do need to sell my home this year. I need to reach out to them. Like, these are the seeds that you're planting. Um, so I'm going to get a little bit more into practical. So you guys can, again, my goal here is to give you guys as much information you can go and implement. So purpose, let's talk about purpose first. So like what these pieces of content are for with Instagram. Reels full purpose is to reach new people, grow your following. And also I would add on to this, this is where ads come in as well, is to reach new people, grow your following without having to rely on Reels algorithm. So both of these do that. Carousels reach new people, share value quickly. Key points here is you have to really make the title card pop. It's like the hook. And you want to make, I usually, my best performing Reels, I make into a carousel version. And then that way I can kind of, multi-purpose the same content. And then stories are to one, to connect with your audience, start conversations, and also make call to actions, which I'll show you guys examples later, and also show behind the scenes of your day-to-day life. Reels. A lot of people get like just super complicated with Reels, and if you're not super great at talking on camera, like I don't mind talking on camera, but if you're not, the simplest way that I've started with like creating content is focusing on YouTube content, and then also doing Reels, but like a B-rolls type of style of content, meaning you have clips, different clips in the local area, and we put text on it, over the B-roll, and add trending music. Like that is just the simplest way to start with that. I definitely recommend showing your face on camera, but I'm saying that doesn't have to be all your content, because that can be, pretty time consuming. But what I recommend is just getting a bunch of B-roll, content, like you unlocking a door, showing a house, cool areas, like really how do I say, like really prominent areas in your town. So like this is like a property tour. This guy got like 38,000 views. This was like, if you need a reason to move to Bend, Oregon, or wherever your city is, I'll give you 10 of them. And he just stacked B-rolls of like little clips of over his town and gave people 10 reasons, and he got like 54,000 views just from that. So I'm saying all this to say it doesn't have to be that complicated. Instagram Reels are by far the best way to grow organically on Instagram. Post short videos that change every 2 to 3 seconds. The first 2 seconds is the most important, because that's when people are going to decide, am I going to watch this, or am I going to click off and watch something else? So you want to write an engaging hook and use the most eye-catching clip. Hooks are not just what you say, but also what the visual hooks as well. And so you want that to be really engaging. Here is some things you can screenshot. Property tour hooks, not just like, hey guys, here's this house. Like, if you think about that, if you're not a realtor, you're probably not going to stop at that. But here's what blank gets you in your city, state. I bet you've never seen a blank like this before. This might be the craziest blank I've ever seen. If you want, like there's just so many options. But the hook is designed to draw people in and be like, oh, yeah, that is something. I do want to know what I can get for this amount of money in this city, because I'm planning on moving there. Like, you want that to be kind of putting yourself in their shoes. These are local content hooks that you can use. This is like local content based on like, you want to become not just a real estate agent, but people want to know that you know the area, and you know that you're an expert in all those things. And so, it could be like, I wish someone told me sooner that, this restaurant has the best burgers in town. Or, if you plan on visiting this area, here's add these things to your list. 5 secret spots you need to know if you're visiting. And so all these things are going to show that you're a local expert in this area. Um, Really quick thing here too is, when you're struggling of coming up with ideas for like content or ads or whatever, it's always good to go back and to think about what are their pain points. Not a lot of times we think about ourselves and what we think they should know about us, or like we just kind of get in a different brain headspace. But always be thinking about, who do I want this to like help, and what are their questions. And you can use this by thinking about your clients, like what questions have they had, what concerns did they have before working with you, like what questions, and write all those down and use that to turn into hooks. So it's like, okay, I don't want to give up my interest rate, and then you can turn that into a hook of like, want a bigger house without a higher payment. So houses are too expensive. Give me 60 seconds and I'll show you homeownership is probably more realistic than you think. So all those things are turning the pain points into the hook. Because if you've had one person that has that concern or has that pain point, probably a lot more other people do, right? All right, let's go over carousels. Carousels, great to post for your listings and reels that do well. Proper vertical format. It's going to be 4x5 or 1080 by 1350. And the first slide on your carousel needs to crush. So like it's like none of these say just listed. Like I'm not against just listed, but I'm just saying. I mean, obviously here you've got like a really luxury house, and they're going to get more views than normal, right? But the process is the same as they're using a hook to draw people in, and carousels kind of do that really well. It's just like a written format that some people can consume. Okay. Next thing is going to be stories. Stories, polls. I use for polls, call to actions, and behind the scenes. Okay, so polls is going to be great for, like, for example, here you could see like I use these all the time on Facebook and Instagram. It's just such an easy way to get to people to interact with you and start a conversation from there. Like, hey, I saw your vote on my poll. Start a conversation from there. Like this guy, he just got like a new listing, and he kind of just, hey, Calgary deal of the week, just came across this property, blah blah blah. He puts the details. Do you want more info? They vote yes. Everyone that votes yes, they're immediately gonna DM them and start a conversation. And it doesn't even have to be that specific. There's just 3 months left to 24. Is buying a home still on your list? Yes. Looking early 2025? Maybe. No idea how to start. If you want to buy a home in the next 12 months, what would your ideal monthly payment need to be? So once every like person that responds to this, these are just like kind of basic real estate questions. So it's just a way to start a conversation. Um, so those are some examples if you guys want to screenshot that. Call to actions. This girl's not even in real estate. Her name's Personal Brand Launch. I actually recommend following her. She does some really great stuff with Instagram. But every single day she posts this same call to action, and it's basically like a client result. This is where they were. This is where they are now. And she calls out her audience. If you're this person looking to do this, more information. She gets so many clients through that. And she posted, it's the same framework every single day. She does a call to action every single day. And it's just a great way to stay top of mind. Like, hey, this is what I help someone do. If you want to do something similar, here's some more information. And she doesn't only do that on her stories, but she puts that in every single day, and it crushes. I also love behind the scenes just because it helps you build connection and trust, and that can be anything. Like just go in your car and on your drive, like, hey guys, like just helped a client do this. It's so cool to be able to like help people in this city. If you're, it doesn't even really need to have like a format or frame. Just show people your life because it's just gonna build trust. And if you're like a more private person, that's fine, but just post more personal things that have to do with like your work and help people connect with you. Um, DMs really quick. Our DMs are basically how we convert these people that are engaging with our content, ads, all those things. So you want leads are anyone that responds on polls, new followers, likes, comments on posts. Like I said, DM every single person because every person is a conversation and a lead. Post with purpose. Your content should do one of three things. Every single piece of your content should capture a new audience, nurture your current audience, or convert your nurtured audience. Don't focus on virality, focus on purpose, and your content will do what it's supposed to do. Last kind of pieces here is going to be lead magnets. This is a great way to build your list and capture your audiences on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all those things. Is to have a way to collect emails. Is the best way to do this is by creating a free lead magnet. Some examples are there: relocation guide, best of your city, all those things. And obviously we all know how lead magnets work. People want a free piece of value. They put their email, their phone number in, and you can start nurturing them from there. Um, so that's like kind of like the full Instagram kind of process that we use, a holistic marketing process. Yeah, and if like I said, my goal here is that you guys like take this and use it and run with it. And I've noticed and just in general in marketing and with real estate companies and agents is like when you need marketing help, typically people do one or three or multiple of these things. Is like you kind of try to do it yourself, throw spaghetti against the wall and like hope it sticks, which you can get great results, but sometimes it kind of just falls short. Or you hire internally, which can be really expensive, and for the level of expertise that you may be needing, maybe you don't have the budget to hire someone internally. or they may need outside help to kind of really ramp up, your marketing process, or you kind of outsource to an agency or a third party lead source or something like that, which the results can be kind of underwhelming. It can be very expensive, and their whole goal is to just get more clients to do the same thing for. So your marketing is going to be really custom, really tailor made to actually help you reach your goals. And so I just want to share like a few stories kind of clients that we've worked with. This Bob from Austin, Texas. The screenshot isn't loading here, but hopefully it will in a second. But this was the one I was saying that we helped get like a $900,000 listing for from this content and ad system, and he's expanding his team and really starting to crush it in the Austin market. Kelly from Atlanta, Georgia. She was going from wondering where her next closing was every month to becoming a top 5% realtor in a really competitive market. And we've worked with her for over 2 years, generating listing appointments consistently. And then one more is Chuck from Panama City, Florida, my hometown, and we helped him get 4 closings, real estate closings and listings within the first 16 weeks. And so just to show you guys that this all works. Now, obviously, I want you guys to crush it. So if this is something you want to like implement yourself, fantastic, literally do it. And I can't wait to hear the stories and the results. If you do want help and you want someone to really partner with you in this, you can scan this QR code now. And this is not going to be like a sales call, anything like that. I don't really work with anyone. We don't vibe if we don't vibe. And so you can, this is just going to be like a quick 15-minute chat and see if there's, what your goals are, what your struggles are, and how we can actually help you get to that next level in business and in your marketing. So I think that's it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much again for having me. Really appreciate it.
Caitlin, thank you so much. This has been a great session that you have shared with us. So much nuggets that you have shared. And I know we had some really great questions in the chat, and I want to bring up Gino so that we can kind of do this Q&A together. And we just have a few minutes before the top of the hour. But Gino, what'd you think? Wow.
That was amazing. I appreciate it, Caitlin, for breaking it down. And something that we know that leveraging social media for your real estate business is really important, especially when it comes to building your brand, right? And not having to rely like on sources like Realtor.com, Zillow, all of those resources are perfect. They're great. But when you can, focus on building your brand, this is a great way for you to build that following through the traffic, and then having the content nurture your following, and then obviously utilizing IG for a lot of this stuff. So there was a couple questions on the chat here. I want to go back. I think it was on the part where you were talking about the IG giveaway ad. I think Tiffany mentioned, what are you giving away, knowledge or a small gift, or what's your giveaway process like?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've seen people do different giveaways. The one that I've liked the most is this realtor partnered with a mortgage loan officer, and they offered to cover their I think it was like their closing costs, like around $2,000 or something like that. So I think like the realtor and then the mortgage loan officer partnered on that and split that. And so I mean, the better the giveaway, the more you're gonna get out of it, if that makes sense. Like, if you're gonna give away like a $20 Amazon gift card, okay, you're probably not going to get much out of that. But I think it's cool to tie it back to your industry, and like cover closing costs, because it's like, okay, if they're wanting to have something to cover closing costs, they're probably going to do their transaction with you, and that automatically pays for itself. So I definitely recommend something like that for real estate agents.
Perfect. And I think, let me see what else. Todd had a question as well. And if you guys have questions, please drop them in the chat, or raise your hand, your virtual hand. We'll make sure, to pin you and spotlight you here in front of everyone. But we have a question from Todd. Are you doing the DM through ManyChat? So I think that was in the section where you
Yeah.
were, using ManyChat for DM automation.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great question. I definitely recommend ManyChat for automations. However, I don't recommend automating too soon, and I don't recommend automating until you don't have capacity to keep up. And then at that point, you can automate things to where when they DM you a certain word, specifically for the lead magnets, you can't really set up to automatically DM people that follow you because you're DMing them first. So you can't really automate that. But for comments, for lead magnets, you definitely can use ManyChat. That's what I use to kind of automate my DM process. But again, I wouldn't do that until you're like can't keep up.
Great question.
Love it. And I know someone asked me if this was being recorded. Yes, it is. It's going to be shared to our YouTube channel. And so if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that now. You can look for EXP Global Alliance on YouTube and you can catch this replay there. And if we don't have any other questions, Caitlin, thank you so much. This has been fire. And I want to remind everyone this Wednesday, for those of you who live in Central Florida, we have an in-person event. Sharing the link again in the chat. And we'd love for you to come and join us and learn more about how we can unite with other organizations through eXp Realty. And we're going to be talking about co-sponsorship and many other things. And also our Build at Sea event. So Gino, I don't know if you have that link, buildatsea.com. Please join us for that event. And any final words, Caitlin, before we end our call today?
No, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And this group is so awesome. I'm so glad that groups like this exist. I'm sure it's super helpful. So appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right.
Perfect.
Gino,
So
any
let's
final words
crush
from you?
it. Let's have an amazing week, super productive week. Let's crush it. And remember, utilize social media, grow your business. And I can't wait to see all the success stories. So feel free to share it on. And next time, next Monday, same time, invite an agent. If there's someone in your as a colleague that you have, doesn't matter what company they're in. If you think they need to be in this call and they can receive some value from this, make sure they are here. Gap Mastermind. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a powerful week, everyone. Bye.